Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. It was that title, wasn't it? Yep. That's why you clicked on this video. That's why you paid for it. You tantric motherfucker. Knew it. I knew what to do. Um, yeah, so the meaning of the title, right, is because when Christ came back, right? Oh no, that's yet to be. When Christ came, right, what did he do? He goes in decency and in order, right? So he had to restore through the authority. Now, Adam had to hold all of this weight on his shoulders, right? But the serpent was the spirit, a rebellious spirit that had more or less control over man. And this is what they were battling with, right? So Eve lost her crown and it was given over to Adam. And then there was enmity between the two of them, right? So when I say Eve needs to D, it's really just saying that we have to restore the divine feminine energy, right? Because divine masculine was restored, but how? See, man had dominion, right? To restore, and this is my conclusion now. It may evolve in time and shit, but the best way to do it would be by example, right? So, Adam, firstborn, right? Literally one to one with God, right? It was literally like God beyond space and time, creating a form of version of himself in like the continuity. You know what I'm saying? This is why. What's the temple of God, right? It's not. It wasn't meant to be like brick and mortar, right? It was meant to be the human body, and the reason why God created it as brick and mortar at first and he didn't have no iron or no metal in it and you couldn't even use it is because he fashioned it out of the clay of the earth and then his spirit dwelled within it. But no human being was without sin because they were born with it. So as a representation, the tabernacle and the temples, they were a symbolic representation of the true temple, right? So he had to go back through man to redeem Judah. Judah redeems Israel. Israel becomes one. Israel redeems the rest of the world. That's how it goes, right? Well, what is divine feminine energy, and how do we restore that? Well, I think it was in part started in the New Testament, but it got stopped, and it's time to continue that. So what is divine feminine energy? How do we set the example, right? Well, we gotta be that deity, man. Us men, we gotta step up and we gotta get that deity energy flowing. You know what I'm saying? Show these females what it is and give them that energy, and so they can become divas, right? That's the female equivalent, right? Diva. So how do we do that? Well, it would be natural that energy would go through man first, but you would be like, what? Divine feminine energy through a man? How so? Well, it's a misnomer, right? Look at the characteristics of divine feminine energy, right? What is it? Right? It is youthful. It is creative. It is expression. You know what I'm saying? It is, it knows how to conduct itself, but it knows how to conduct freely as well. You feel me? It sees things from a different angle. And if you look at all of those aspects and traits, right, they seem similar to what? A teenager. Like, where did that energy come from? The new one. The one being shown things, right? Who is she probably being shown to? The first divine feminine, Eve, right? Adam. Adam was like, hey, look at this. I didn't get to show you this. You know what I'm saying? He woke up one day, you know what I'm saying, missing a rib, and then then spotted Eve. Was like, you know what I'm saying? Isha, you know what I'm saying? So he was like bound. He was just like so excited to show her everything that, like he had. It's like, and seeing what she would like and everything like that. And she saw from a different perspective. She was the youthful energy, and she was probably way more creative because she saw it from a different angle, right? What do you think that came from? In relation to, it came from God and Adam. God woke up, Yahweh, right? And who showed him everything? God. See what I'm saying? So it's not that it's divine feminine. It's just that these are archetypical labels that have cemented in our foundation because we cut off the continuity that we are the children of the Most High, right? We separate him and think that he's this distant and far off energy or concept that is unknowable. No, this entire realm was created for us to be housed by his spirit. See, the Holy Spirit is our natural spirit. It was supposed to be. This is why, see, God actually has 3 begotten sons. I'm not going to get into that right now because it's just going to be fucking ridiculous. But, and time doesn't exist. So, anyway, but it does exist. I'm going to just continue. So, God, so it's really just divine adolescent energy. And when you're pushing through in the world, you become an adult, right? But your soul is eternal. That's where that's the true you, and that's where you come from, and stuff like that. And so it's never aged, right? Shouldn't. So if you are ever put in a predicament or a situation, right? Like what are children? They're naturally youthful. They're naturally abundant. They're naturally creative and adaptable. You have that in you. That's your soul. What you want to do is you don't want to like push forward like a goddamn tyrant all the fucking time. You want to take time, breathe, consider things, be more moldable, no matter your age, that energy is eternally youthful within you. And that's the true you anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? That's the hell. So that's what you really want to tap into. And because of the order of things, right? See, this is my take on it, right? Like, how they say a female's intuition, right? Well, how was a woman supposed to redeem herself by having kids, right? So, when Eve lost her crown, she could only get her crown back through marriage, right? So, Adam had to be this men had to be this staunch driving force for fucking progression, power, dominance, and safety and security. They really could not tap back into that youthful energy because they had to grow up hard, right? Women kind of typically capped out at intuition, third eye, right? So with every physical action, there's a spiritual action, right? Every thought, same thing. So throughout generations, it has been cemented as female intuition. It's like men had to stay there so they could pretty much just leave females to tap into the intuition part. Men have discernment and all that stuff too, and they have intuition as well. It's just that we are both made in the image of God. Because of the ways things went down, females had to return their crown or get access back to their crown through men or other means, which, divination and shit like that. So, and not all, I'm not saying all spirits are bad. It's just that, like, you are not as old as these things. These are ancient beings. And it's just like, God, Lee, you don't know what you're going to... It's so risky to get tricked and shit. The risk is too high, so I stay clear from it and only go with the Holy Spirit. But the dynamics and the methods they use all stem from the Holy Spirit because that's just the meta. That's the way the spiritual realm conducts itself. That's the way it functions. And Satan cannot create anything. Only God did. So the way that they use it is in a similar way to how God designed it. Like, going through all this, like I was just researching a whole bunch of shit, and I saw candle magic, right? And I was looking at it, I was like, God, huh. To me, what that sound like? That sound like the first day. In the beginning, God created what? Light. He just said, let there be light. So now you have light burning, and then these witches, they be chanting stuff. Their words. See what I'm saying? It's no matter what these maleficent or wicked or anything, you know what I'm saying, forces do, it all stems back in the image of Creator. You see what I'm saying? So these tools and methods are just tools and methods. It's no different than a hammer or a gun. Who's using the hammer and who's using the gun and for what purpose, right? That's what separates spirituality from witchcraft. Makes sense, don't it? So, what I would say is that men, it's hard just to be hard all the goddamn time and to not motherfucking cry or to not, like, feel like you can just be you. You know what I'm saying? Just, like, fucking revert back to that childlike energy sometimes. And that door has been open for us. You know what I'm saying? We can rebalance. And I think, and even more so than that door, another door behind it that you didn't even expect. Right? We got access to so much more. And men do have to take the lead. I mean, you can still call it divine feminine energy, but it's just really divine youthful energy. You know what I'm saying? So shit, when I first got here, I ain't had no crib. It's cold as bitch. I just came here, started my job and shit. Then went to school, then got my crib. Like 2 months into school and shit. Fucking had my nice ass apartment and shit. Bought the shit I wanted and everything. I was in divine masculine energy, right? Because I was dedicated and forging the path forward, right? I make very long-term plans. Plans that are sustainable and realistic, right? But I dream big, so they got to be long term because it takes a lot of resources to get those manifestations to happen, right? Well, that's what I thought, right? When I lost my father and everything, that hit really hard. But it was almost like I had lost two fathers because right before that, I took a break from God. I was like, God, this is too much. I didn't know I was under witchcraft because I was like headed towards my destiny, and everybody wanted to just cast motherfucking whatever goddamn shits they wanted to throw at me and shit. But yeah, so I was dealing with that. I was just like, God, I need a break, right? I ain't gonna lie, it was a freedom game because I saw how capable I was, but it hurt not having that like security of like knowing that your daddy always got your back, and I felt that same pain again when I lost my earthly father and shit, and I always knew my daddy had my back. There was, what I'm saying, there's a foundational structure there. That should never be taken lightly. The presence of a father. And I was going through it, and Melanie was right there. And she helped me through that. And that's why, like, I gave more to that situation than I probably would have any other situation. Because I was pretty much like, if you ain't on my like productivity or like fucking or path, or at least let me get my goddamn fucking destiny straight. Like I just I just wouldn't even consider it, right? Long term. So but when she helped do that, I literally didn't know how to function for a little bit. Then when I got more and more farther away from God and my thoughts, I didn't know, I couldn't hear him no more. So then I questioned heaven again and shit, and was my daddy still out there somewhere, or what happened? It was a big blow. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm staying here till I get my guns back. Anyway, Rado. But yeah, that was that, and I did, graduate, got my shit. But shit started going downhill, goddamn again. Fucking just everything tried to take me off my path. So what was I supposed to do? I get depressed. Plans weren't fucking working out like I had thought, and they were damn near foolproof because I think shit through. So I had time to think. So I kicked back into what? Divine youthful energy. That's where you can observe. That's where you can see, ponder, think, listen to what's not said. You know what I'm saying? Because kids be direct, and and people be like, "How does this kid know?" Like, nigga, when you was small, you fucking peep game too. You know what I'm saying? People don't suspect you to peep game. You see what I'm saying? They've been through it too, but they don't suspect it. There's this large distance in, like, cognitive dissonance there. I see people don't expect, like, I think for a long period of time, people didn't expect women to peep game, and so they chalked it up to something, and those terms came became cemented into how we read and interpret, because the way the Holy Spirit works is it works according to what you know. So you are the arbiter or the creator of your destiny. You will be tested, but what you want to formulate and what you want to create, you have to fight for. So men as a whole, right? We can't ignore the fact that we're human. See, when you're a kid, what are you also willing to do? Try new things. See, there's less of a ego involved when you fail as a child, right? Because you ain't supposed to be good at shit. you're gonna be shitty at everything. So as you grow older and you have like a niche of what your skills and abilities are, you kind of just take hold of that and place that as your identity. But your capability is so much more than that. So why do you limit yourself? Because of monotony, tradition, and your own limiting beliefs. That's it. For me, I had to kick it in the overdrive. I remember when I was little, I think my dad had told me to like scrape some paint off the wall or something. We was always doing some shit, but putting us to work and shit. Just odd ass jobs, like goddamn, like fucking dig a hole so I could put the fish in the fucking in the backyard. Throw the whole cooler in the ground and shit. But fucking and I was just hitting it at one approach, and you know how you're a kid, you think everything takes forever and shit. And I was like, this is impossible. I cannot get all of this paint off of this thing. And my arm got tired, so I switched hands, and then I started doing it. But inevitably, that causes you to switch angles, and the paint came off, and I was like, oh. And I remember to this day that fucking moment and just saying, this is how I'll do everything. You know what I'm saying? So if one like aspect or avenue or attempt doesn't work, try another, and then try another, and then try another. And so, like, just, you know, scraping a little paint and shit, I was probably like, what, 7? Just change it to this angle, or change it to that angle. Change, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, quantifying that, you can do that with anything. If it doesn't work the first time, there has to be a method. If another person succeeded and I made out of the same, you know, unction stuff, you know, I don't fucking know. Like, I should be able to too. Ain't no reason I shouldn't. So, I had a foolproof plan, so I thought, you know, but I was unaware of other occurrences, events, circumstances, forces, you know, up against me. So instead of getting upset and down and out, because I had no control over that shit, I only have control over what the fuck I do. So if shit ain't working, I ain't gonna practice insanity and do the same shit over and over again. I'm gonna fucking sit back, observe, figure out what the fuck going on, and try a different way. Now, my compassion may lead me to stay a little bit longer, sometimes. But again, there was a lot I did not know, and that just makes you ignorant. And ignorant, that's not even a bad word. You're just ignorant to the facts, or the truth. It means you don't have the information. You can't blame yourself for not being privy to that information. So why would you? See, that's why I think people get like people have this sense of pride, but it's a false sense of pride for real. Cause like, yeah, you're capable, but how are you going to get fucking butthurt and shit like when you don't know what the fuck is going on? You into a situation and you act like you know everything. Is that what you was taught? Because I'm for real. It was shit. I was fucking talking to Trayvon a long time ago, and like, yeah, I always thought they was cooler than me and shit. And so, but I had no idea they thought I was cool too. So, you see how like that perception of your reality dictates everything. And he was like, bruh, I don't know. I just asked. This is a girl. She had said something. I didn't know what it meant, and so I just like pretended like I knew what the fuck it meant, so I could be cool. And I wouldn't look like fucking, you know what I'm saying, lame or some shit. And I went to them and they were like, I never heard that word either. I was like, for real? And he was like, yeah, bro, I just asked. And I was like, you fucking right. And that's how, goddamn, my like thought process changed. Fucking Trayvon and Diddy both Pisces, so like a lot of introspecting and Piscean energy is what I really grew up with. So, and that kind of just like, you know, transferred over to me and shit, which I'm thankful for, because it's a real easy way to understand yourself and the world at the same time, you know, congruently, like just simultaneously. You feel me? You know, but then like you know, Taurus stability. So, yeah. So if I ever need to kick back into that energy, I can. If I'm ever given the opportunity to kick back into that force of a drive that I was previously in, I can as well. I mean, I can switch fire. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't shit. Like I know how to be a goddamn adult. It's just that my situation right now is completely different. But I say all this to say that you can take a back seat, my men out there, to the Spirit of the Lord and let Him be that Father for you, right? And He can show you far many more dimensions than you previously thought. And He is your Father. So when you take that opportunity up, it kind of can, if you don't know how to kick back into that youthful energy, it'll kick you back there. Now remember, kids can get whoopings too now, so I mean, don't act up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a pretty dope experience when you walk in this life, and you always like, I guess, like I was in Colorado and my dad was in Virginia, but I always knew he was there. That presence of security. Everything ain't on me. You feel me? Like, my dad always got my back. I gotta talk to him every day. I know alum, and he there. It's the same thing. Just that alone creates such a relief on the human spirit that it's bound to get you further because there's not as much pressure. When something's holding you back and it condenses you, right? Life starts condensing. You know you got backup. You'll persevere through anything, and that is how we men should be, and we should, and in doing so, see like wisdom from our elders and stuff. That's to guide us and teach us, right? But what happens when we run into? Because you need that. Honestly, any society needs that. If you just start crumbling down on the fucking generations of fucking goddamn wisdom that have been pivotal for your survival. It's a mockery to your ancestors, to fucking reality. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they said the shit they said, and you don't want to do that, but you do. But you are in a new situation, right? So you can be dynamic. What you want to do is make adjustments here and there, practical adjustments, and pay homage. You feel me? And in that way, you don't have to be just this arbiter of institution or force and power. Instead, you can be that ever-present force of power. Like, people will know, you got that power, don't play with them, you know what I'm saying? But you also have this energy where you can be approached, you can be asked questions, you can ponder, you can change your mind, because now you can kick back into that youthful energy with that firm, mature presence about you. Much like how Jesus was. Like, we only have 4 testaments of him, each from a different person and a different point of view. And we don't have a testament of fucking jokes. We don't have a testament of the good times, family moments. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that. But he was indeed a person, so he probably had that. Preachers and the Pharisees were equivalent. Sadducees, they did not like him. Why? Because this nigga was flipping tables. This nigga was upset. This nigga was wise as a bitch. And people couldn't fucking, you know what I'm saying? They was like, God damn it, he's so fucking cunning. You know what I'm saying? And they couldn't predict his next move. He was a free-spirited, enigmatic character. Kids weren't afraid to approach him. So he had to have like a joyful countenance. You know what I'm saying? Like, who do you enjoy being around? Funny people, man. Cool ass people that don't judge and shit. People, even the middle class said what? Oh, he hangs out with the lowest of society. And what he retorted. You know what I'm saying? It was like, have I not come to heal the sick? Right? You think you healed? You healed, bro. Why would the Messiah come to you? You feel me? You can't help nobody think they already fixed. So, yeah, men, we should embrace that energy so we can restore the divine feminine and let it flow naturally, because women are what? The glory of men, right? In another video that probably got fucking taken down because, villains. What did, in this aspect, the divine feminine give to, the divine masculine give to the divine feminine? If Satan, right? Because Lucifer had the breastplate, and it was 9 stones instead of 12, I think. Adorned the high priest with what jewelry? What do men do with their women? They adorn them with what jewelry? What did God do to Israel? He adorned them with jewelry. What do you do for your son when he's coming of age? Wouldn't you give him a watch? What is that? Jewelry. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just these things have been set in our minds. And when the spirits are, or it's the Holy Spirit is speaking, right? It's something that it requires less energy for it to pertain to our understanding rather than absolute truth. And that's with anything. You don't have to explain a complex goddamn concept to somebody when you could just make a parable or a like comparison. You feel me? There's the difference between giving somebody like a printout of like how goddamn nuclear fission works, or just like showing them a depiction on a what's some things, projector. You know, we all know an atom doesn't look like what we see on the fucking paper, but it's good enough, ain't it? You understand the concept, right? That's all. That's all that's required. So people shouldn't really get upset or anything about that. But yeah, I think men should take a back seat and be authentic, right? When you're a child, you're less concerned about being judged. As an adult, you rightfully so, you more are concerned about that. But it's a different time and it's changing, and we need to not be concerned with being judged, right? Because that makes us immalleable. I think I said that right. And makes us just we can't adapt, and that's an issue when you trying to be used by God. Like when I fucking broke up with Melanie, throughout that whole experience, I learned I just need to be like real instead of with like I think, you know, I'm supposed to be. You feel me? And so I was just like, God, shit, I'ma buy a pack of condoms. You know what I'm saying? Just in case, right? So I wasn't trying to lie to God. It's like sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, if I meet somebody who cool, she good, you know, I'ma try to resist, you know what I'm saying? But if something go down, like you put this instinct in me, like I'm just being real with him. I'm like like, but I knew that he wouldn't judge me if I was being real with him. So, I it's almost like because of reverence for my father, I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna do it the smartest way. It's like I don't think you should be doing that, but at least if you do it, be safe. You feel me? Do it the most practical way. He's like, you're an adult. I told you how it should be, but you're gonna do what you want to do. And what you're doing is both. You're doing, it's not like you're ignoring your own self. What you're doing is you're putting precautions in place before you do it, out of respect for me, because you know I know better. And I can respect that and respect you as a man in turn. You feel me? And that's what it is to be in that divine youthful energy. To know and pay homage to the fact that I'm not gonna be perfect. Ain't nobody gonna be perfect till, you know what I'm saying, we get the super flesh, you know. But I mean, ignoring instincts or ignoring my human side, that carnal side, what does that do? It just it turns into a fucking a kettle. You know what I'm saying? And then like shit, you can go fucking forever, you know, trying your hardest to be, you know, the greatest of all time and shit when it comes to purity and shit, but you pop that cork or something, it's you know what I'm saying? Like that's just gonna happen because you've been repressing all of that shit for so long. So I'm like, hey, thank you, Jesus. I really, you know what I want, God. You know what I want, but it's hard out here for Elohim Junior. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, let me just be real with him, and he respected that, and that's when he can deal with you, right? Because what are you doing? If you read the word, right, and you follow those teachings and commandments, right? Yeah, that's for a child. That's for a teenager. When you get out here, right? And some people didn't even have access to that at that time. So they weren't even given a fair shot. So stop judging people so quick, right? So you have that, but like everybody's life is different. Everybody's path. It's 1,000 ways things can go. God knows that too. He's not unaware, right? This is why he gives grace. And this is why he understands the decisions you make more so than you. And you actually put venom on yourself, like more self-judgment on you than God would ever do. You feel me? And that's a shame. It's part of the reason why you have to get rid of and go away from shame. Jesus died for it. So understand and embrace that true gift of blessing. See, and this is why, you know, sometimes you think a child, people may think I'm naive, or that's the sense they'll get, because I can laugh. Everybody else can know the danger around me, right? I'm not, it's not like I'm not peep game or I'm unaware of some shit. I'm just like, my daddy bigger. And I'm a god. So I'm like, what the fuck? It don't really, like, it's like it can be seen as a child who doesn't know the forces that are around him. But I'm looking at it differently. I'm like, y'all don't know the forces that's around y'all. Bro. Like, I mean, the angels I got surrounding y'all niggas, for real. Like, I'm playing my part so this can play along. You know what I'm saying? There's a function to this. You know what I'm saying? But I still get upset, so I'm gonna speak my mind. I got emotions. God is slow to anger. What? But his wrath is crazy. But then he'll forgive you if you just fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's how I try to operate. You start to piss me off, I might go off on your ass. But after that, I mean, I ain't even think about this shit no more. I hope you change. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? We agree to disagree and we walk away from each other. That's it. That's it. Join the pantheon, dog. Like, understand and give that energy. Just being in that energy yourself as a man will give your woman the opportunity to be a diva, the diva she meant to be, right? And then it also takes a lot of the pressure off of you. What are we, co-creators? Man is a co-creator with God, right? Sometimes we take the driver's seat. Sometimes God does. Sometimes we can let go. Jesus died. The shit's restored. You can give her tiara. You know what I'm saying? Or ain't that like the female crown? I think that is. Anyway, you can give her. Or is that for the princess? I don't know. Whatever it is, them diamonds on the head. You know what I'm saying? Give her that. Let her take some strife off of your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Because she can be given that. Like we were, as men, we were given that at the death of Christ. Or actually, yes. Maybe the resurrection, same thing. But it took this long. We have to set an example that is worthy enough and fit. You know what I'm saying? Be that deity in their life, right? We ain't just men. We gods too. And when we do that, we get our energies to them. They can then become the fully expressed version of what it is to be a diva, a goddess. Because they goddesses too. See, why did God say, this is my only begotten son? Why? But Jesus said, I'm the Son of Man. Why? Because man is God too. You apply that same principle to woman. You see? And I'm going to get deeper into that in another video. One you're going to have to pay for. I might give you this one for free. You know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying? So y'all can come to expect what's coming. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all. This is why you can be calm in storms. This is why you can be calm in stressful situations. And when you can laugh and have a sense of security, as though you're a child that's protected no matter what. You ain't think about that shit. You have time to be creative. Think of different. You're not stressing. It's just the ample energy. Embrace that as deities, and allow your woman to embrace that, so she can embrace her demon. Rightfully so. All right, y'all. In all things, do it in love and reason. I'm out. And it's cold. Gone.